What did it do? Hope everybody's having a good day, and it's time to talk about Best Girl Loafo Bia Elaine. Now, whoever you pictured in your head just now, if it wasn't Elaine, you're wrong. I just, I just don't know what to tell you. That wasn't the right answer. Try again. Let's do it again. Think in your mind who's Best Girl in the series of Tower of God. Okay, and now if it's Elaine, now you're on the right side of history. But anyways, let me not waste any more time. I want to talk about her importance moving forward in the narrative because there is a possibility that she won't end up doing much, but I do think there's a strong case that she should become one of the main cast members moving forward. And I want to talk about what narrative importance she could have and what general role she can play thematically moving forward. And I want to just say this real quickly. This is a character that a lot of people actually don't like or don't understand why some of us like it. I made a video about why I think Elaine's a great character, so in the card here, go check that out if you haven't already, because I don't feel like rehashing it, but I will give you a quick TLDR. This is a Princess of Jihad candidate. She is actually extremely skilled and was using enormous weapons inventory and was using them very well, and we can argue that that's not even her real fighting style. So without that holding her back to kind of fight solely for the purpose of getting people's name on a name hunt station, I think her true potential has been unlocked, and plus she's been kind of freed from the shackles and burdens of her family. Though it was ultimately her mistake way back when, she didn't deserve 1,000 years of servitude like that. So I think with all of those motivating factors, the backstory we understand, and the fact that she's not weak, at the very least we can make arguments for why she isn't. I think that she has a real role moving forward. Let's talk about it. Y'all talking time just tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses Rio got me name. Hoping God just get me out this game. So when it comes to Elaine, I did mention earlier that the character can be somewhat contentious from the standpoint that some people are just like, bro, this character's not important, she's whack, she's played her role from the name hunt station, there's nothing else for her to do. I disagree with that. As a victim of her own family, and we know how much the 10 great families have done terrible things throughout the tower to so many other people, I really do feel like, especially with this arc that we're in, the nest, which holds something very important to the very family she belongs to, and having the actual head directly be like, yo, put the Grey Wolf Branch family under debt and kind of servitude in this fashion. I think she has a real reason to want to overthrow the head of the family. Think about how Hua Ryun also somewhat spurred on, if not tricked, Elba to keep climbing in sake of trying to reform the Yeon family. I think this was kind of a loose way of saying Elba will eventually take a big leadership position in the Yeon family, if not the head role, because I do think we're going to kind of get the 10 great families out of here. And I do think we can kind of give Elaine similar motivations. I don't know if we have to be like, Elaine wants to take out the head for what they did to her type beat. I think she did take some of the onus on herself, knowing that she did fail the test, so part of it was her fault, although the punishment was not, like, the equivalent exchange was crazy, like it was lopsided as fuck. She didn't deserve all those years of that. I do think she does take accountability for some of that. So maybe her hatred and rage isn't that great, but she knows how it feels. Think about her kind of, not her last lines to Enietta, but Enietta's kind of last fleeting thought before he passed away: don't lose Kaiser. As somebody who understands how it kind of feels like to be thrown away by your family, because things are a direct descendant and whatnot of the RDA family, Enietta, she was like, I would pay great money for your services, and made him a 10 great boss because she understood that. She felt that pain. So it's still there somewhere. I felt like with the nest, at this point, she had a really good opportunity to kind of denounce like her relations to the family, and maybe like, maybe local being a name, but I do not fuck with y'all. Maybe you said to Yas Ratcher, one of the branch families or something, like she could really be out here doing something like that, making a big statement and saying, watch out, I'm going to be coming with, Bam and Company, and we're going to change the tower. I'm going to reform this family, if you will, and make it better, because we have all the branches. Then you have the head of the family. So maybe she wants to do something significant to change that so no one has to go through what they're going through, right? I think that's real motivation for her. Now, in terms of her being, kind of outclassed from a combat standpoint,
I really think you can just you can somewhat arbitrarily power her up, just be like she never stopped training during those years. She's been working on stuff. But remember, she was ultimately, at the end of the day, a candidate to become a Princess of Jihad, meaning she has immense potential. I know she didn't actually get the power of blood, but at the end of the day, she did have the potential to become one, and you can't forget that. So with that in mind, I feel like her base skill set is very powerful. I thought she did really well with her armed inventory and everything she was using. Plus, she's an anima user. And okay, you want to argue, well, we need people who can kind of fight against rankers. Don't forget that her anima's teeth are strong enough to pierce her ranker's skin. And the only way that it stops bleeding is if she decides she doesn't want to bleed anymore. It'll continue to bleed out. And she can teleport with it. Like, she's not useless in combat. Maybe, yeah, she's not going to straight up beat a ranker, but in conjunction with a good team, a powerful trio or something, I have no doubt that they could not, if not take one down, escape from one, fend one off, stall, things of that nature. So she's not outclassed from a combat standpoint. I would argue that characters like Masang are way more useless. They're way weaker than her. So she's not necessarily lagging behind combat-wise. And I've given you motivation for her to keep going forward. And thematically, you could have her just be one of the upper stronger party members alongside with Kun, Rak. You have Bam probably, and Dorsey and Nak, probably Ran if he comes back someday. Like, she can stand toe to toe with a lot of those characters. And at the end of the day, she is special within her own family. She is an anima. Now you have a really dope anima user on your team. So I've always felt that she's had importance moving forward, or you could at least make the case. I don't know if this will happen or not. So let me know what you guys think about it, but it is my hopes that she becomes kind of a main party member with Bam's crew and starts to get a more focused role in the story, as opposed to kind of more so being relegated to the background. We'll see what happens moving forward, though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be out here.
In my drugs, pour it in my cup, sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't